The desperate Cry Captain Marcus Webb had seen plenty of strange things during his 15 years hauling cargo across the Outer Rim, but nothing prepared him for what he found on the dead world of Kepler 442c. His ship, the Iron Resolve, had landed. For emergency repairs, when his thermal scanners picked up 2 faint life signs, near a dried riverbed dot, the alien mother lay collapsed in the red sand, her 4 arms wrapped protectively around a smaller figure. Her species was unknown to Marcus Dahl, graceful, with silver-blue skin that seemed to shimmer even in the harsh sunlight. But her condition was unmistakable. She was dying of starvation. "Please," she whispered in broken standard, her voice barely audible above the desert wind. Just one bite for her. She is everything. The child in her arms couldn't have been more than equivalent to a human 5-year-old. Her large, dark eyes stared up at Marcus with a mixture of fear and desperate hope. Unlike her mother, the child's skin had a golden tint, suggesting mixed heritage. Marcus knelt beside them, his weathered hands gentle as he checked their conditions. The mother's pulse was weak, irregular. The child was better off, but not by much. Both showed signs of severe dehydration and malnutrition. "Name's Marcus," he said softly. "What's yours?" "Zephyra," the mother managed. "This is Kara." She touched her daughter's face with trembling fingers. "We fled the breeding stations on Altair 7. They said mixed children were impure, dangerous." Marcus had heard stories about the Altarian eugenic programs. Entire bloodlines eliminated in the name of genetic purity. Families torn apart. Children branded as abominations simply for existing. "The smugglers took our last credits," Zephyra continued, each word an effort. "Said they would take us to the neutral zones. Instead, they dumped us here. Said the desert would clean the galaxy of our ... Mistake. Rage burned in Marcus's chest, but he kept his voice calm. "Well, they were wrong about one thing. You're not going anywhere except onto my ship." He lifted Kira first, surprised by how light she was. The child didn't resist, but her eyes never left her mother. Then he carefully gathered Zephyra, noting the fresh brand burned into her shoulder, the mark of a genetic criminal inside the Iron Resolve. Marcus activated the medical bay and began emergency treatment. Saline drips, nutrient supplements, thermal blankets. Basic first aid, but enough to stabilize them. As Zephyra's breathing steadied, she gripped Marcus's arm with surprising strength. "Why?" she asked. "We are nothing to you. Helping us makes you a criminal too." Marcus looked down at Kira, who had fallen asleep in her mother's arms. The child's face was peaceful now, free from the constant fear that had marked it in the desert. "Because," Marcus said simply, "everyone deserves a chance to live free." The hunters pursued 3 days later, as the Iron Resolve cruised through the asteroid belt near Proxima Station. Marcus discovered they weren't alone. The long-range sensors picked up a sleek pursuit vessel Altarian design, military grade, closing fast. Zephyra was on her feet now, still weak, but recovering quickly thanks to human medical supplies. She stood beside Marcus at the bridge viewport, watching the approaching ship with grim recognition. "Genetic Enforcement Division," she said quietly. "They never stop hunting. My husband died fighting them when we escaped." They made Kira watch. The child sat in the corner, playing with a simple toy Marcus had fashioned from spare parts. She seemed to understand the gravity of the situation, despite her young age, her golden eyes alert and watchful. Marcus studied the tactical display. The GED vessel was faster, better armed, and designed for this exact purpose, hunting down genetic refugees and dragging them back for processing. His cargo hauler was tough, but not built for combat. "They'll board us," Zephyra said. "Take us back. You should surrender now. Claim you were forced to help. They might let you live." Marcus's jaw tightened. Not happening. He opened the comm channel as the GED ship pulled alongside. The face that appeared on screen was coldly efficient Agent Vex, according to the identification tags. His silver uniform was immaculate, his expression showing no emotion. "Human vessel, you are harboring genetic criminals," Vex stated. "Prepare to be boarded. Surrender the fugitives, and you will not be prosecuted." "Negative," Marcus replied. "These are passengers under human protection." Agent Vex's expression shifted slightly, showing mild surprise. "Humans have no authority in Altarian genetic enforcement matters. You will comply or face the consequences." Marcus cut the transmission and turned to his ship's systems. The Iron Resolve might not be a warship, but 15 years of hauling cargo through pirate-infested space had taught him a few tricks. "Strap in," he told Zephyra and Kira. "This is going to get rough." He fired the main engines at full burn, diving toward the asteroid field. The GED ship followed, its superior speed allowing it to close the gap quickly. Energy bolts flashed past the Iron Resolve's hull as Vex opened fire, trying to disable the engines. Marcus twisted between the floating rocks, using his knowledge of cargo routes and hiding spots. The Iron Resolve groaned under the stress, but held together. Behind them, the GED vessel struggled with the tighter maneuvers, its military design optimized for open space combat. "There," Zephyra pointed to a massive asteroid with deep caverns. "If you can reach that hollow, their sensors won't penetrate the mineral deposits." Marcus nodded, pushing his ship to its limits. They slipped into the asteroid's shadow, just as another energy bolt scorched past their hull. Inside the cavern, he shut down all non-essential systems, including the engines. In the sudden silence, Kira's small voice spoke up. "Will the bad man find us?" Marcus looked at the child, then at her mother. Both had already lost so much. "Not if I can help it," he said firmly. The bond forms inside the asteroid hollow. The Iron Resolve drifted silently, while the GED ship searched the field outside. Marcus watched the tactical display as Agent Vex's vessel methodically scanned each rock, growing closer to their hiding spot. Zephyra sat with Kira in the small lounge area, teaching her daughter an ancient Altarian song in whispered tones. The melody was hauntingly beautiful, full of hope despite their desperate circumstances. It reminded Marcus of the lullabies his own mother had sung when he was young. "She learns quickly," Zephyra said softly when the song ended. "Mixed heritage gives her advantages. She understands both human and Altarian concepts naturally." Marcus nodded, studying the child. Kira's golden skin seemed to shimmer with an inner light, and her dark eyes held an intelligence beyond her years. "Is that why they consider her dangerous?" "Partly," Zephyr replied. "But mostly it's fear. Fear that mixed children prove their genetic purity doctrine is wrong. Kira represents everything they try to deny, that different species can create something beautiful together." The ship's proximity alarms chimed softly. The GED vessel was getting closer, its deep-range scanners probing the asteroid field. Marcus watched the energy readings spike as the sensors swept past their hiding spot. "They're using quantum resonance detection," he muttered. "Give them enough time, and they'll find us." Kira looked up from her mother's lap. "I can help," she said in her small, clear voice. Both adults stared at her. "What do you mean, little one?" Zephyra asked. "The humming in the rocks," Kira explained, pressing her small hand against the ship's hull. "I can feel it. The angry man's ship makes different humming. If I touch the wall, I can make our humming match the rocks." Marcus frowned. "That's not possible. Ship signatures are based on engine frequencies." And his words stopped as the tactical display showed their energy signature beginning to shift. matching the natural resonance of the asteroid around them. It was subtle but unmistakable. How? Is she doing that? Marcus whispered. Zephyr's eyes filled with wonder and fear. I don't know. Her father could sense electromagnetic fields, but this is something new. On the display, the GED ship scans passed over their position without detecting them. Agent Vex's vessel moved on, searching deeper into the asteroid field. Kira removed her hand from the wall and swayed slightly. Marcus caught her before she could fall. Easy there, kiddo. That took a lot out of you. The child smiled up at him. You're nice. Not like the other humans on the station. What other humans? Marcus asked, though he feared he knew the answer. Zephyrus. Expression darkened. Some humans collaborate with the GED. They hunt mixed families for bounties. Turn in children like Kira for genetic credits. Marcus felt sick. Not all humans are like that. I know, Zephyrus said gently. You prove that every day. But Kira has learned to be afraid of most people. The fact that she trusts you, that's remarkable. As if to prove her mother's point, Kira curled up against Marcus's side, finally allowing exhaustion to claim her. Her breathing evened out as she fell asleep, one small hand still touching his arm. She's never done that with a stranger, Zephyr observed. Usually, she hides from everyone except me. Marcus looked down at the sleeping child, feeling something shift in his chest. For 15 years, he'd lived alone, hauling cargo from one end of the galaxy to the other. No attachments, no responsibilities beyond his next delivery. But now, looking at this brave little girl who had somehow masked their ship's signature to save them all, he felt something he hadn't experienced in decades. Purpose. The stand Agent Vex found them 3 hours later. Not through sensors, but through old-fashioned detective work. He'd traced Marcus's cargo manifest and discovered the Ire Resolve was scheduled to deliver mining equipment to the Kepler system right where they'd picked up Zephyra and Kira. The GED ship emerged from behind. A massive asteroid, weapons charged and ready. This time, there was nowhere to run. Human vessel. Vex's cold voice filled the bridge. You have exhausted my patience. Prepare to be boarded immediately, or I will disable your ship and take the genetic criminals by force. Marcus looked at Zephyra, who held Kira close to her chest. The child was awake now, her golden eyes bright with fear, but also determination. There's an escape pod, Marcus said quietly. Military grade, long-range capability. It can get you to the neutral zones. No, Zephyra said firmly. We don't abandon. Friends. I'm not your friend, Marcus replied, though his voice lacked conviction. I'm just a cargo hauler who got in over his head. Kira looked up at him with those impossibly wise eyes. You saved us. That makes you family. The word hit Marcus like a physical blow. Family. When had he last belonged to something like that? Agent Vex's ship moved closer, preparing to dock. Marcus made his decision. Emergency broadcast, all frequencies, he announced, activating the AMA, ship's communications array. This is Captain Marcus Webb of the human vessel Iron Resolve. I am protecting 2 refugees from Altarian genetic persecution. Any ship receiving this message, please record and transmit to human space. Vex's face appeared on screen, no longer cold but furious. You fool. You've just declared war on the Altarian hegemony. Maybe, Marcus admitted, but I've also put this on the record. The whole galaxy will know what happened here. He activated the ship's defensive systems, not much against a military vessel, but enough to make boarding difficult. Zephyra, you reach the navigation computer? I need you to set a course for the nearest human outpost. What about the GED ship? Leave that to me. Marcus powered up the engines and launched the Iron Resolve straight at Agent Vex's vessel. It was a desperate gambit a cargo hauler ramming a military ship was usually suicide. But Marcus wasn't trying to destroy the GED vessel, just disable it long enough to escape. The collision sent both ships spinning. The Iron Resolve's reinforced cargo bay absorbed most of the impact, while the GED ship's sleek hull crumpled along one side. Emergency klaxons wailed as both vessels struggled to regain control. Now! Marcus shouted, firing the engines at maximum burn. The Iron Resolve pulled away from the damaged GED ship, racing toward the jump point. Behind them, Agent Vex's vessel tried to follow, but couldn't match their acceleration with a damaged engine. Jump. Coordinates locked, Zephyr reported from the navigation station. Initiating jump in 10 seconds, Marcus announced Dot as the countdown reached 0. Kira pressed her hand against the wall again. Marcus felt the ship's systems respond, somehow, optimizing the jump sequence beyond normal parameters. The stars stretched into lines, and they were gone. New beginnings. 6 months later, Marcus stood on the observation deck of Haven Station, watching ships from dozens of species dock at the massive orbital facility. The neutral zone outpost had become something of a legend, a place where genetic refugees could find safety, and humans proved that not all species valued purity over compassion. Zephyr approached, carrying a datapad filled with colony reports. Her health had fully returned, and she now served as the station's refugee coordinator, helping other mixed families find new homes among the human colonies. The latest transport arrived this morning, she reported. 47 refugees from 3 different worlds. The Human Colonial Authority has already approved settlement grants for all of them. Marcus nodded, pride swelling in his chest. When they'd first arrived at Haven Station, it was just another trading post. Now it was becoming something unprecedented, a true melting pot of species, all protected under human law. "Where's Kira?" he asked. Zephyr smiled and pointed toward the station's central hub. Through the transparent aluminum windows, they could see the child playing with a group of other mixed heritage children. Human Altarian, human Centauri, even some rare human vegan hybrids. All of them laughing together, their various skin tones creating a rainbow of possibility. "She's teaching them the resonance trick," Zephyr explained. 3 of the other children can do it now. The station engineers are amazed. They're saying mixed children might be the key to next-generation ship technology. Marcus watched Kira demonstrate something to her new friends, her golden skin glowing with concentration. The child who had been marked for death was now helping create the future. "Any word from Agent Vex?" he asked. His ship was found drifting near the asteroid field. Engine damage, but the crew survived. The Altarian hegemony recalled him for reassignment. Zephyr's expression grew serious. "But Marcus, they haven't given up. There are other agents, other ships." Marcus nodded grimly. "I know, but look around you. We started with 1 ship, 2 refugees, and a crazy idea. Now we have an entire station full of families who refuse to hide anymore." Through the observation port, more ships appeared, human vessels flying in formation, with Centauri cruisers and even a few reformed Altarian defectors. The message was clear. Genetic purity was dead, and diversity was the future. Kira suddenly appeared at the observation deck entrance, running toward them with her arms spread wide. Marcus caught her in a hug, spinning her around as she giggled. "Uncle Marcus," she said breathlessly, "the new kids want to meet you. They heard you're the human who fights bad people." Marcus set her down gently. "I'm not a fighter, Kira. I'm just someone who believes everyone deserves a chance." "That's what makes you a fighter," Zephyr said softly. As they walked toward the central hub together, a human cargo hauler, an Altarian refugee, and their mixed heritage daughter, Marcus, reflected on how much had changed. The galaxy was still dangerous, full of those who preached purity and practiced hatred. but it was also full of hope. And sometimes, Marcus thought as he watched Kira skip ahead of them, hope was the most powerful weapon of all. The Iron Resolve sat in the station's main docking bay, no longer just a cargo hauler, but a symbol of something greater. Its hull bore the scars of that desperate flight through the asteroid field, but also wore new colors, the insignia of the Haven Rescue Service. Because sometimes Marcus had learned the most important cargo you could carry wasn't goods or equipment. It was the future itself.